In recent hip-hop, four men have emerged to claim the throne, their lives deeply woven together by music, violence, and loyalty. From Chicago, Illinois, Lil Durk leads the OTF collective, Only the Family. Born on October 19, 1992, Durk Banks grew up in Inglewood on Chicago's South Side. His father, known as Big Durk, was incarcerated in the early 90s for crack cocaine distribution, with a reported $8 million seized during his arrest. With his father gone, young Durk assumed significant responsibilities as the man of the house. His mother worked long hours as a nurse, leaving little to keep him from the streets. By age 10, he began hustling, feeling that following in his father's path was the only way to support his family. As a teenager, he eventually joined the Black Disciples, the gang that controlled Inglewood. Despite his street life, Durk developed a strong interest in rapping. His MySpace account quickly gained followers, fueling his passion for music. Alongside childhood friends, he founded the brand OTF, Only the Family, and began releasing music online as Lil Durk around 2010. The Chicago rap scene was competitive, with rising artists like Chief Keef, Fredo Santana, and Lil Reese, who were part of the Black Disciples and formed a larger group called 300. Although Durk had his own OTF crew, joining 300 allowed them to collaborate and boost each other's popularity. Legal troubles continued to haunt him, however. He was arrested on a gun charge and spent several months in jail. When released, he found himself at a crossroads as his music gained traction, but financial struggles remained. In 2013, Durk signed a joint venture deal with Def Jam through his OTF collective. He saw it as a turning point, hoping it would be his family's ticket out of the neighborhood. But this was just the beginning. Shortly after, he faced another arrest, serving another 3-month sentence. Once released, he dropped his third mixtape, Life Ain't No Joke, featuring tracks like 52 Bars and Right Here, solidifying his momentum. Although his career was building, trouble kept resurfacing. He was arrested again, this time with a $100,000 bail. Despite the setbacks, Durk remained consistent, releasing mixtapes every 6 months. In 2014, he earned a spot on the XXL freshman list, a key milestone. Yet, what happened afterward would truly define his career. Durk realized he needed a change in direction and began dedicating more energy to his label, OTF, signing new artists and prioritizing the brand over his solo work. This shift didn't bring immediate results, but he stayed consistent. In 2018, momentum started building as he released a collaborative tape with OTF artists titled Only the Family Involved. By spotlighting these emerging talents, Durk drew new attention to himself as well. Among these artists was King Von, who after recently beating a murder case had begun rapping. Durk took Von under his wing, promoting Von's early songs on his own YouTube channel, which helped Von quickly gain a following. While other OTF members were also rising in popularity, Von's Crazy Story trilogy propelled him to fame, and he became like a missing puzzle piece for Durk's vision of OTF. With OTF gaining recognition as a label, Durk's own career surged, drawing in a new generation of listeners. As he and Von led Chicago's music scene, their visibility grew, making them household names. Together, they even beat an attempted murder charge, which only fueled their rising stardom. By 2020, Lil Durk's tracks were consistently earning gold and platinum certifications. His 2 albums that year, Just Cause Y'all Waited 2 and The Voice, both peaked at number 2 on the Billboard charts and went gold, cementing his status as a leading figure in rap. King Von, also from Chicago, had close ties with the Black Disciples gang and OTF. Known for his association with O-Block, a notorious housing project, Von's identity and music reflected his connections to street life. Born on August 9, 1994, Davin Bennett grew up in one of Chicago's toughest neighborhoods, Parkway Gardens, better known as O-Block. Known as Grandson, due to his connection to his grandfather, David Barksdale, a co-founder of the Black Disciples, Davin was part of a challenging environment from the start. Despite these surroundings, Davin's early life wasn't as rough as it could have been. His father was frequently in and out of prison, so he didn't meet him until he was 8. However, his mother and stepfather worked hard to provide for him, and Davin was an A and B student who enjoyed playing baseball. After his father's death, Davin's life took a turn as his grades began slipping. and he started engaging in petty crimes like bike theft. At age 15, he was arrested for unlawful possession of a firearm, marking his entry into more serious offenses. On May 29, 2014, a man named Malcolm Stuckey was fatally shot on his porch during a birthday gathering. Two armed men approached and opened fire, killing Malcolm instantly. Initially, only one suspect, Michael Wade, was arrested, but as new evidence emerged, Davin was charged as well, facing up to 100 years in prison for murder and 2 attempted murder counts. He spent 3.5 years in jail awaiting trial. While incarcerated, his cellmates, recognizing his street reputation and connection to King David, began calling him King Von. In 2017, after nearly 4 years in jail, his trial concluded in just 5 days. Michael Wade, who cooperated with police, received a 20-year sentence, while Davin, who refused to cooperate, was acquitted of all charges and released within hours. Wasting no time, he began writing his first raps immediately after his release. In late 2018, King Von began releasing music after reconnecting with Lil Durk, who by then was a major star. Lil Durk fully supported Von's early music, even uploading Von's first tracks to his own YouTube channel to help boost his visibility. Within a few songs, Von had already begun building a dedicated fan base. Although drill music had peaked around 2010 to 2015, and its popularity had recently waned, Von's engaging storytelling over beats, delivered with seemingly effortless intensity, brought a fresh new style to the drill genre. On the final day of 2018, he released the single Crazy Story, a track that would transform his career almost overnight. To further his career, and as a personal decision, he moved out of Chicago, settling in Atlanta. Baton Rouge's NBA YoungBoy is regarded as the leader of the NBA street gang in Louisiana. His group was engaged in a violent gang rivalry with TBG, Top Boy Gorilla, led by rapper Fredo Bang, a conflict marked by threats and loss of life on both sides. Kentrell Gaulden was born on October 20th, 1999, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. His father was sentenced to over 50 years in prison, and with his mother moving away, Kentrell went to live with his grandparents on 38th and Chippewa Street, along with his half-siblings, including his older brother Pierre. At age 4, Kentrell suffered a neck injury after falling from a bed, requiring him to wear a halo brace, which left permanent scars on his head. Growing up, he was especially close to Pierre, who took on many responsibilities as the oldest of 10 siblings and half-siblings. At 7, Kentrell shared his dream of becoming a rapper with Pierre, inspired by his biological mother, who had also been a rapper. When Kentrell was 12, a conversation between him and Pierre about their future led Pierre to say, "We're never going to be broke again." This became the foundation of their NBA slogan, beginning with the two of them and eventually including cousins and younger brothers. Kentrell admired other Baton Rouge rappers like Lil Fat, Fredo Bang, and Jumanji, one of his first mentors, which influenced his developing style. He released his first official song, For a Reason, on YouTube, showing his potential even in his early days. Pierre, now known as NBA 33, managed Kentrell's career and handled business matters. He printed and distributed over 1,000 CDs of YoungBoy's music around Baton Rouge, helping them build a small local fan base. As YoungBoy's music became more consistent, he faced his first legal issue, spending 6 months in juvenile detention for a break-in. During this time, he focused on writing and improving his lyrics. Once released, he dropped his first mixtape, Before the Fame, while 3 continued promoting the music and laying the groundwork for YoungBoy's career. Over the next year, he focused on releasing mixtapes and expanding his reach beyond Baton Rouge. By this time, he'd gained enough recognition to catch the attention of mainstream artists and attract a growing fan base beyond his home state. In October 2016, he released his breakthrough mixtape featuring the hit song 38 Baby, which earned him his first gold plaque. The success of this tape, along with some rap beefs that fueled his buzz, introduced him to a much broader audience and a surge of new fans. Despite being only 17, his music carried a depth and rawness beyond his years, shaped by his challenging upbringing. This growing popularity drew interest from major record labels, And around this time, he officially changed his stage name to YoungBoy Never Broke Again to avoid conflict with the National Basketball Association. On November 28, 2016, just before a show in Austin, Texas, YoungBoy was arrested and charged with 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder, held on a $200,000 bond. Although he was still only 17, he faced the possibility of being tried as an adult. He remained in custody until May 2017, when he accepted a plea deal and was released. Soon after, he dropped the single Untouchable. In 2018, he announced his debut studio album, Until Death Call My Name, featuring collaborations with artists like Future, Birdman, Boozy, and Offset, which firmly established his place in the mainstream music scene. Savannah, Georgia's Quando Rondo, once affiliated with the Rolling 60s Crips and now a part of the OTM gang, Only the Mob, is also a signed artist on NBA YoungBoy's record label. Born on March 23, 1999, in Savannah, Georgia, Tequian Bowman was raised by his great-aunt after his parents gave him up for adoption. He struggled to find a sense of belonging throughout his childhood. At age 11, he had his first encounter with the law after an altercation with a cousin, setting off a series of juvenile arrests that spanned almost 6 years. 6th grade would be the last grade he completed, as he spent much of his youth cycling in and out of detention. Seeing others move on while he remained stuck, he was eventually kicked out by his aunt and went to live with his biological mother. However, the relationship was strained, as he'd spent most of his life without her, and the love felt distant. Increasingly involved in gang life, he began engaging in carjackings and break-ins, with firearms becoming a regular part of his life. Struggling with her own challenges, his mother eventually asked him and his brother to leave as well. Left without stability, he turned to small-time hustling just to scrape by, but soon sought bigger targets, eyeing wealthier homes across Savannah. During one of these break-ins, he triggered a silent alarm. With his mounting charges, he spent over 2 years in county jail. Upon his release at 17, he realized he needed a new path. While still navigating street life, he began posting freestyle videos on Instagram, quickly gaining a local following before even recording official tracks. Inspired by a mix of his nickname, Taekwondo, and his favorite player, Rajon Rondo, he adopted the name Quando Rondo. By early 2017, he was releasing tracks like First Day Out, which sparked a local buzz. After another 6-month stint behind bars, he committed fully to his music. While recording in the studio, a mutual friend suggested they reach out to Atlanta rapper Lil Baby, opening a door to even greater possibilities. That night, the mutual friend connected Quando with Lil Baby over FaceTime, and the two hit it off. Quando sent him a track, and within hours, Lil Baby shared a snippet on his Instagram. This was January 2018, a high point in Lil Baby's career, and they soon dropped I Remember, along with a music video that racked up over 80 million views on YouTube alone, giving Quando an immediate career boost. Around this time, NBA YoungBoy noticed one of Quando's freestyles on Instagram, and they began talking. The two, being close in age, quickly formed a brother-like bond. Quando signed with YoungBoy through a deal with Atlantic Records, which included an advance of about $150,000. Adjusting to this newfound success and financial stability, he managed to avoid trouble for a while, staying focused on his music. He spent the rest of 2018 in the studio, dropping 2 popular mixtapes, with singles racking up millions of views. His reputation grew, and so did his ties to YoungBoy. Whenever YoungBoy had issues with other rappers, such as Kodak Black, Kevin Gates, Fredo Bang, and Jada Youngin, Quando consistently showed his loyalty by backing him. In 2020, while YoungBoy was filming a music video in Baton Rouge, police arrived and arrested him, along with 16 others.
The drama surrounding Baton Rouge native rapper NBA YoungBoy continues. The rapper was arrested around 4:30 Tuesday morning on multiple drug charges.
There is a lot of drama surrounding him and the guys that he associates with. We believe that some of those guys have been involved in criminal activity here in Baton Rouge.
The rapper was one of 16 arrested at the scene.
3 of them, I believe, were convicted felons. So they, if they didn't have weapons in their possession. They were around weapons.
According to BRPD, they all attempted to run upon their arrival.
There are individuals out there that started tossing their guns. Some started running. They were attempting to hide. There were a group of them that were attempting to hide.
The alleged suspicious behavior led police to search cars at the scene. They confiscated 14 guns, $79,000 in cash, and drugs.
People generally don't walk around with a combination of 80 grand in their pocket. One having right at $50,000 in his pocket.
The incident is being investigated by BRPD as well as the FBI, which could lead to federal charges. Gaulden was released on $75,000 bond Tuesday afternoon.
Although he remained free for a period, in March 2021, he was arrested in Los Angeles and faced federal gun charges, resulting in a sentence of 2 years and 3 months. Despite the relatively short sentence for the Louisiana gun case, Utah authorities later charged him with another felony gun offense, just before he pled guilty in the earlier case. In August 2024, federal agents charged him with being a felon in possession of a firearm after raiding his residence and finding weapons. YoungBoy is also dealing with a pending drug charge tied to this case.
Rapper NBA YoungBoy is out of the Cache County Jail on a $100,000 bond. The 24-year-old, whose real name is Kentrell Gaulden, is facing dozens of charges accusing him of being involved in a large-scale prescription drug fraud ring. Now, he'd been held in jail for almost a month since his arrest. YoungBoy agreed to waive a preliminary hearing to get a chance to make bail. His arraignment is set for July 1st, where they're expecting him to enter a plea deal.
The court finds that Mr. Gaulden has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to his preliminary hearing. He will be bound over for trial on all the charges set forth in the information, the charging document in this case. Bail will be set through stipulation of the parties at $100,000. Court is adjourned.
YoungBoy has continued to make history, becoming the youngest artist ever to chart 100 tracks on the Billboard Hot 100 by 2023. He also outpaced streaming giants like Drake and Taylor Swift on YouTube, accumulating over 16 million monthly listeners on Spotify. In 2023, he signed an impressive $60 million contract with Motown Records, marking one of the largest deals in the music industry. In 2020, Vaughn released 2 more projects, Laval James and Welcome to O Block. The latter project peaked at number 63 on the Billboard Hot 100, a significant achievement reflecting his rising fame. By then, Vaughn's tapes featured collaborations with major artists from across the industry, solidifying his place in the rap game, and his career was just beginning to take off. In the summer of 2020, Chicago rapper King Von went on Instagram, listening to NBA YoungBoy's music, but paused it, calling his lyrics cap.
YoungBoy talking about on this song, bro. He talking crazy on this one.
Oh, yeah?
He ain't even like that.
Oh!
On his ass, nah.
On his ass.
Cap.
Quando and his camp supported YoungBoy, and Quando's close friend Lil Tim even tweeted at Von to chill out, sparking months of back-and-forth tension.
And GBI investigators still here on scene. This shooting made national headlines as officials confirmed one of the 3 people shot and killed was rapper King Von from Chicago, who was here last night with friends.
On November 6th, 2020, both Von and Quando ended up at the same hookah lounge in Atlanta. When Von learned that Quando was outside, he and his crew approached him, and a fight erupted. Von punched Quando, and as the scuffle intensified, Lil Tim, seeing Quando under attack, jumped out of the car and shot King Von. Sadly, Von did not survive. On November 14th, 2020, Bennett was laid to rest in Chicago. Quando later claimed self-defense, as he had been the one approached and attacked.
He be like, no, lil' bro, I'm not about to let you sit in no car and go to sleep.
Right.
I'm with my day one, my main man.
Right.
He one thing about it, he gonna protect me. So I'm letting this group come by. Next thing you know, it hit me. You feel me?
However, this incident seriously impacted his career, as venues became hesitant to book him over safety concerns. In the early hours of October 24, 2024, U.S. Marshals arrested Durk in Broward County, Florida, as he allegedly attempted to flee the country. Authorities had been investigating him for over 2 years, with a member of OTF even wearing a wire. After the August 22nd shooting of Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Durk, law enforcement quietly began piecing together digital evidence, including cell phone records and iCloud data, uncovering messages in which Durk reportedly advised an OTF associate, identified as co-conspirator 3, to avoid booking flights under recognizable names. One critical text message, "Don't book no flights under no names with me," stood out as evidence of deliberate planning. Paired with flight records and hotel bookings, the messages suggested a coordinated setup. Prosecutors alleged that close associates used OTF-linked credit cards to secure car rentals and one-way flights, arranging for 5 men to travel from Chicago to Los Angeles the day before an ambush. Investigators found further evidence in Durk's bank records, revealing that shortly after these arrangements, he booked a private jet to Los Angeles with another alleged co-conspirator known as Cuz, who reportedly supplied additional resources. Surveillance footage and receipts from that day revealed that Kurtz had bought ski masks at a local store, giving authorities what they considered the outline of an elaborate murder-for-hire scheme. This turned the investigation from a local tragedy into a federal case. Early that morning, Durk learned that 5 key members of his OTF crew had already been arrested, each reportedly implicated in planning or executing parts of the scheme. Upon hearing this, Durk made several frantic attempts to evade law enforcement, booking multiple flights in quick succession, seemingly to mislead authorities. First, he booked a flight to Dubai, then a ticket to Switzerland, with each reservation appearing more rushed than the last. By late afternoon, he secured a private jet from Fort Lauderdale to Italy, hoping this would be a low-profile escape compared to a commercial flight. Federal agents, however, had been tracking his movements closely. After over 2 years of gathering evidence, they now had informants embedded within OTF. When Durk arranged the private jet to Italy at 9 p.m., the FBI swiftly moved into action, having received word of his plans that afternoon. By 6:40 p.m., agents were deployed to intercept him before he reached the Miami airport. The chase ended hours later as agents apprehended him en route to his final flight. Currently, the rapper remains in custody without bond at Broward County, Florida, awaiting transfer to California.